I swear these other podcasts are just a waste of time. I'm skipping through them, I'd rather listen and change my mind. Wes and Nick always help me through my daily grind. Your favorite guys, your favorite lines, change my mind. I swear these other podcasts are just a waste of time. I'm skipping through them, I'd rather listen and change my mind. Wes and Nick always help me through my daily grind. Your favorite guys, your favorite lines, change my mind. Yeah.
Love is in the air, my friends. Love is in the air, and episode 3 of the Change Your Mind, Change My Mind podcast is on the air. Wesley Sykes. I might change my mind about the title in a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. It's just because I can't remember it. Wesley Sykes, Nick Fryer.
What happened to the cold open?
Well, I got a little something planned here. So it is ahead of Valentine's Day, and we are going to be debating rom-coms versus romance movies.
Yes, we are.
So I did a quick Google search, and I have 100+ speed dating questions to help break the ice on the first date. Do you mind if I ask you a couple? We'll kind of run through this.
Go ahead, by all means.
We'll do this kind of lightning round formation, so we'll do it quickly here. It's a speed dating after all. Are you an animal lover?
No.
Have you ever been here before?
Yes, actually, I have.
You have? Okay. What is your favorite place to eat?
Ooh.
Where? What is your favorite? That doesn't sound right.
Is in
it
like,
says what,
is
but
it
I
a
feel
restaurant?
I feel like where, yeah.
I would say an Italian restaurant.
Just any Italian restaurant?
Well, if I'm picking one place, oh, man. Maggiano's in Boston.
Okay. What is your favorite drink?
Alcohol? Or just drink in general?
What's your favorite drink?
Well, if I was about to die and I could have one drink, it would be orange soda.
Okay, orange soda. What is your favorite website? Careful, kids are out there.
Geeks Worldwide is my favorite website.
Oh, that's a good little plug right there. Plugging yourself early. We usually do that at the end.
Or WBSM. That also is a great site as well.
Yes, of course.
For their YouTube channel.
What is your astrological sign?
I think I'm a Libra, I believe. A Libra's one with the scale, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a Libra.
I remember that because Lil Wayne says, I'm a Libra and my sign is a scale. So if it doesn't measure up, then something is getting killed. And that's something. I can't say that word.
The something is a swear?
Yeah. It's
okay.
Yeah. We're not. You don't want to go there.
You need to control yourself with your vulgar language over these last couple episodes.
Yes, I have a very big potty mouth, as I come to find out. Last question here. Do you know how to cook, and do you enjoy it? It's a two-parter.
Yes, and sort of.
Do you have any questions for me?
I would say throw all those back at you. So, are you an animal lover?
I love it. I own an animal.
Okay. I don't dislike animals. It's just that I'm not like I don't need to have an animal. I can do without.
Until you have one. You say that.
I grew up with a cat in the house.
Well, that's not really an animal. I understand why you hate them.
I loved my cat. My cat was great. She was a great cat. She was very beautiful and everything. I don't have a problem with cats. It's just that the responsibility of having a dog is too much.
See, I think the big problem is that you should have a problem with cats and you don't. Like, I think that's the bigger issue. Why is that a problem? Because cats are the worst.
If you're a real animal lover, then you'd have no problem with cats.
No, I love animals, but cats are kind of a breed of their own. I like dogs.
They're animals.
I'm a dog guy.
I like dogs too.
I like horses.
Horses are great.
I like a good ferret every now and again.
Well, now we're getting into some...
My neighbors had goats.
We're getting into some weird territory now.
Well, potbelly pigs are animals now too,
They are.
It's popular.
I will say that at some point I'll probably get my kids rabbits because I think rabbits are the cutest animals in the world. I've always, if I had a daughter, I'd buy her a rabbit.
They stink. I'm not doing it.
Or bunny,
dogs are nothing.
Dogs are nothing.
Yeah,
I'm not around the house
strict dog family.
I don't know how you have weird hours.
I can work from home. I work from home a lot. And we have neighbors close by, friends and family that are close by that come over and take them.
I can't now be in a condo either. That's just not gonna work.
Oh, yeah? Well, you could do that, right? They could let...
I don't think they allow animals in my building. But anyway, so what was the other one? Favorite restaurant, favorite place to eat?
My favorite place to eat? Well, the date spot that my fiance and I frequent a lot is Chili's, right across the street from where we live.
Chili's? Okay.
It's nice. We haven't gotten kicked out of there. No,
with
not in a while.
Sauce.
But I did make barbecue ribs for the Super Bowl a couple weeks back.
You're a bad speed dater, by the way. You're taking way too long with those answers.
I'm really just kind of getting into it here. I'm really just feeling very sociable right now.
The last
very
one
bubbly.
I do want to know is what would be what's your favorite drink?
Oh, my favorite drink would be some form of bourbon on the rocks, maybe a little splash of water.
Ah, okay. I respect that.
Yes.
Okay. If I was going alcohol, it would have been Scotch, 100%. I'm
not a big Scotch guy.
You're not?
No, I don't. It's too smoky for me. Too smoky.
Smoky. You like bourbon. but Scotch you can describe Scotch as smoky.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyway.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I
That's
feel
not
like
an
bourbon
opinion.
is.
That is. They're smoky.
I might go have some Scotch when I get home tonight.
Oh, well, now that's very nice. Well, I'm going to force you to drink today because the debate is rom-coms and romance, but we'll get into that a little later. I think now's a good time for our news and notes portion of the show.
Yes.
And once again, I'd love to shout out Tim Weisberg, who's at 100% Health, our awesome producer here.
Yeah.
We're here on 1420 WBSM AM.
Yes.
Did I say that right?
You got
WBSM 1420 AM.
You're fine.
It's a lot of letters.
You're getting them all. Well, there's some numbers mixed in too.
Yeah, I know it, right? Yeah, that alphabet.
Yeah.
Let me
I'm just
tell
glad you got it right this
alphabet.
time. You didn't say 1410.
No, I know. You know, and I'm staring right at it too. It's like right behind you. Like I really have no
yeah.
excuse. It's a good little reminder.
Dumbass.
Well, I thought we weren't going to be swearing here. Now that's the first curse is right on me.
Follow my lead. That is okay.
So what's going on in the world, Nick?
Well, I would say the biggest bit of news in at least our side of the entertainment world was the Aladdin trailer came out during the Grammys last night.
The second one, if I'm not, or was the first one like a teaser?
It's the first one revealing Will Smith's genie,
which is all what we wanted to see anyway.
It's all we care about, and honestly, they should have not shown us it because going into now, I don't know if I want to see the movie. It's like I've seen it. He looks kind of dumb.
It's kind of ridiculous.
You know what bothers me more is he's fake jacked. Because Will Smith does not look like... No one looks like that when they're jacked, unless you're putting in, like...
He's got the Shazam muscle suit on or something.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of that, this is totally a squirrel moment, but I saw this thing on Snapchat the other day, and it was... These people had gotten implants for their on their bodies to look like characters. So there's like a girl... There's a Barbie girl. There's a Ken guy. There's also a dude...
Isn't that most of L.A.?
Well, and there was that dude a few years back. I think he actually passed away. He got implants so he could look like a tiger.
I've heard of these people before, yeah.
And there's another guy who has that with the Hulk. And he has these fake muscle implants and his shoulders are jacked. I've never understood wanting to have almost no neck around your shoulders. I know this isn't necessarily great for podcasting, but it's like if you look it up, you'll find it somewhere.
Why not just work out or just take a bunch of steroids?
That's the weirdest thing in it all.
You're just going to get the implants?
One or the other. There's other PEDs out there that are much safer than steroids, just for our
but that's a
viewers who are getting an idea.
General.
Yeah, it's true.
HGH or something.
But anyways, back to the whole Aladdin thing.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Will Smith's Aladdin?
He kind of looked like a centaur or a minotaur. I don't know which end is what, how that works out.
A minotaur is with the
looked like he had a horse body.
Is it a bull?
It's a horse or a bull.
Well, a centaur is a horse.
Yeah,
a horse is a centaur. Or, human's body on a horse's legs.
Right.
Is a centaur.
Okay.
And then a minotaur is the other one.
Yeah, so a centaur. Okay. All right, that's why it kind of looked like that. Because the little bottom that they showed, because they really only showed him from the waist up. Mm-hmm. But it looked like he had like a whole back carriage area.
I wasn't a big fan. I thought at one point he had 4 arms.
Yeah.
He doesn't. I was completely
wrong. Kind of like
the
that. Mortal Kombat final boss. You remember him who had like 4 or 6 arms or something like that?
Yes, yes.
But I thought the opening was great. Mm-hmm. It kind of had these big sweeping casting shots of the desert and the main city there, and it kind of had this creepy vibe to it. And they're going into this tunnel to go find the genie, the lamp, if you will. But as soon as I get into Will Smith, I kind of lost me.
Yeah, that's the most distracting thing.
Everything looks stunning. Like everything visually looks great. Like I'm a big fan of how it kind of the whole feel and the aesthetic to it. It reminds me a lot of the Sega Genesis game, which I was obsessed with as a kid.
There was an Aladdin Sega game?
Oh yeah, that was low key my favorite Disney movie.
Aladdin is really?
See,
what was that, Tim?
Tim knows what's up.
All I said was great game. Actually, all those Disney Genesis games were good.
The Lion King one was really good too. Yeah,
I don't know if there was anything for Beauty and the Beast or.
That's a tough game to kind of formulate for a Sega Genesis.
And then by the time like Hercules and Hunchback came out, I wasn't really into playing those games anymore.
I never saw Hunchback in Notre Dame. I saw Hercules maybe in school.
I loved me some Esmeralda, man. This
is where the thing kind of picks off a little bit. Yes, you pick up right where we drop off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I only saw Disney movies like on dates.
Oh,
because
this is a very appropriate conversation.
By the time Lion King came out, I was already kind of dating.
Oh, yeah.
So, like anything from Lion King up to I think it was Tarzan was probably the last one that came out that I saw on a date.
Not the Brendan Fraser live action Tarzan.
No, the
that's George from the Jungle.
The George of the Jungle.
Excuse me, yeah.
And also Encino Man, and also most characters that Brendan Fraser played.
That's a good point. Yeah,
great. Actually, Brendan Fraser talk.
Well,
no, go ahead. What?
Well, you know that Brendan Fraser is going to be in Doom Patrol.
Yes, he is going to be in Doom Patrol.
So he's alive.
He is alive.
I had no idea until I saw.
You thought he was dead?
No, I knew he was alive, but I didn't know that he was even acting anymore.
Yeah, good for him. Get a little work, Brendan Fraser.
But anyway, yeah, there's nothing. Nothing says you're not getting any like going to see a Disney movie on a date.
Or you're just playing it really cool.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Tim, I will educate you and the listeners on that a little bit later on in the show.
Did you like Aladdin?
The cartoon, or are we talking about the
trailer?
The trailer. I thought I think everything besides Will Smith's genie is fine. I'm totally out on Will Smith as a genie, though.
Will you go see it? Could be a good date movie. Comes out May 25th
First of all,
this year.
I need a date to go on a date movie.
Well, Nick, you're a studly looking fellow.
You know, just 2 episodes ago, you said we had faces for radio.
Yeah, that's true.
I disagree with you fully.
Well, I was speaking more about myself.
No, well, come on, Wes. That's not even remotely true.
Well, and now I was just fishing for compliments, and look what I did. I reeled you right in.
Yeah.
Reeled me in a keeper.
I did not see that coming at all. So I don't know if I'm going to go see it. Actually, you know what? I can pretty confidently say I will not see Aladdin.
I'll go see it.
Okay.
Yeah, and I also appreciate the lack of whitewashing. Like, they did not whitewash this movie at all. It's all kind of true to life. Everyone kind of has like fit into that setting, so that's kind of cool.
That's fair.
Note for that I have: Disney will be withholding Captain Marvel from Netflix release, marking the first time this is going to be the shift as they start pulling everything off and onto their Disney Plus platform streaming service. According to this article that I read on Deadline, which was citing a Wall Street Journal interview with Bob Iger, the Disney head honcho, so it's kind of like an inception of stories right there. But they plan to lose $150 million in income, but they're hoping to kind of reinvest that and kind of build within themselves, and kind of hype up this Disney Plus streaming service. There's a major demo for that set to come out on April 11th, and it can have multiple kind of platforms. It's more than just like Disney or Marvel, MCU type stuff. It's also going to be incorporating ABC and ESPN and those properties. So a show like Grey's Anatomy, which is a huge staple for people to binge watch on Netflix currently, probably going to be pulled off. And you even mentioned that with Warner Brothers winning the rights to Friends.
Yep, they're going to have Friends and carry that exclusively, and I believe they're also going to be carrying over some DC properties as well, maybe all of them.
Some of the CW TV shows.
No, well, there's a DC app now too, streaming app, and I cannot remember for the life of me what the name of it is right now. Tim, do you know what it is off the top of your head? The DC streaming one?
No.
I can't remember what it is.
It keeps popping up in my Facebook newsfeed, though.
Well, that's because
I went to the website.
And because you got the Comixology stuff now and everything else.
Yeah, and I
can't remember what it is.
It's just, it might just be DCU Online.
Something like that.
I'll look it up.
But I wouldn't be surprised if that just dissolves or is absorbed into the Warner Brothers stuff.
Yeah, I mean, with the way that Disney Plus is kind of booking it right now, that's the kind of vibe I would say. I would say a lot of those like individual streaming services are going to just snatch up all of their IP and all their prior properties and try to group them all into one place.
It's just straight up DC Universe.
DC Universe.
But it doesn't have, there's nothing about pricing or any of that stuff that's been released yet. So
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. Right now, so I would say, when Captain Marvel comes out, this is probably when they're going to start cycling out of what's already on and available on Netflix, aside from the Marvel Netflix series. So you're talking Infinity War, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther. Get those in. Binge watch those, rewatch those while you can, because
get the
those are going to be
Netflix
taken off
shows in now too. The Marvel Netflix shows, because if you haven't finished those, you're going to lose those.
Right, exactly. And you're, whatever is going to come out on the other end of Disney Plus won't be anything, I would imagine, attributed to the Marvel Netflix universe. So anything that was built up with the Punisher,
but I did see some.
Maybe Charlie Cox comes back, maybe John Bernthal, but I think everything else kind of falls to the wayside.
I did see some rumors though about some animated stuff with Howard the Duck, MODOK, and then there are a few others.
I'm in on
too.
MODOK. I'm out on Howard the Duck.
But MODOK getting his own show, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. I just always
be interested.
I would give it a shot for sure. I'd be very interested in seeing what Marvel can do with some of their animated stuff. I know DC does very well with it. They had a Suicide Squad movie come out within the last year, I want to say, and it was great. I was like, why couldn't you just do this with live action? There was no reason to not be able to do it. There was nothing that sensational about it. But speaking of shows, Wes.
Yes.
What came back this week? The Walking Dead Season 9 mid-season premiere.
Oh.
We have the Whisperers are now in play. We got to see them at the end of the at the mid-season finale. You were asking me if you would if I'd recommend that
because
show
it's on Netflix right now.
Yeah, I love it.
Seasons.
I love it. There are definitely slow seasons for sure. I think a lot of people that were there maybe 3 years ago are out on it. I think Tim watched it to some extent too, right? You hate it, right?
So I still watch it. I've watched every episode. I hate the show.
Why? So because you're invested because you read all the comic books and everything?
Nope.
No.
Never read. I read some of the comics after I started watching the show.
Which is they're very good.
Maybe like 20 issues or so.
I think I read the first. Oh wow.
So yeah, I hate watch the show. I just like watch it so I can complain about it.
Okay, I get that.
I've never understood hate watching. Hate listening, I get. Hate watching, I find strange.
Well, it's the same premise.
No, I like watching a bad show sometimes too.
Well,
but I don't hate it though.
I rooted for the governor. And then when that didn't work out the way I wanted to, I definitely rooted for Negan.
Right.
Well, I just wanted them to kill everybody and win.
The governor is a bizarre character, but
Negan is weird. Yeah.
Negan is very compelling. He's awesome.
But
when he's on screen, it's like I gotta pay attention.
The first half of this season 9, I was all about. Like I said, this is what I've been waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're finally moving on in the world. Besides just all this. Like, focus on... Because, see, first of all, the biggest thing is, I've always said, like, Rick and his crew are terrible, terrible people. And they really don't deserve the good fortune that they've had. And so now, you know, that's finally starting to become part of the storyline. And I actually enjoyed the first half of Season 9. I liked the jump in time, where a lot of people didn't.
I agree.
The fact that Rick's not dead bothers me. It's like not officially.
That they wouldn't just pull the trigger on that?
Just kill him.
Yeah.
I know they're going to make a movie or something.
Just a bullet right through the head.
They're making 4 movies.
4?
I believe it's 4. It's either 3 or 4.
Jeez, man.
I got a lot of watching to do if that's the case.
I
was trying to follow along when you're talking about the governor, and then like I thought you were shifting to like a political argument for a second. Then I'm like, oh, that has to be a character's name.
I'll catch you up if movies come out and you want to go see it.
I guess so. I don't know. That just seems like a lot of work.
I like the show. I think that the first few seasons are really good. I would say
I thought the farm season was terrible.
You didn't like the farm season? Well,
no.
Okay, you know what? The finale of the farm is amazing, though. Well, that's awesome. Come on, you can't. No, it's not debating.
Here's the problem that I've always had with that show is they kill people just for the shock value of killing them. Like,
it's a zombie world, dude. Like, it's gonna happen once in a while. You're gonna have death.
No, but they
kill a lot of people.
They kill people just for the shock value of killing them. It's like get emotionally invested in these characters.
How is that different from Game of Thrones?
That's part of the reason I don't watch Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
I think that it's a terrible way to do it, to have people invest in these characters and then just get rid of them. And now they've started actually telegraphing.
Oh, that's weird. Tim's mic is not working all that well. It's almost like someone's messing with the levels.
It's almost like somebody doesn't want to hear my opinion.
Because he's coming out with bad takes. Oh, there it is, Tim. Go ahead. What were you saying?
So I just feel like now they telegraph it when somebody's going to die.
Yeah, that's fair. And there have been some moments throughout the course of the show where they didn't kill people, and it's like Glenn, like how are you not killing them right there, right now? The dumpster scene was unbelievable. That was, and I know someone who got that spoiled for them. Sorry, Wes, you may forget though by the time you watch it. If you do.
I'm not even paying attention right now.
Oh, that's right. He does love spoilers. That's right.
That would presume
Here's my problem with that, and this is why I think it's such a bitch move when they do that stuff. Is they do things like the dumpster scene to see what the reaction's going to be from people. To see, oh yeah, well I guess we could actually kill Glenn and we wouldn't get all that backlash. You know, they do all these little teases and it's just cheap. Well, I find a lot of the drama created on that show to just be cheap.
I'm glad they actually killed him the way he was supposed to get killed, like accurate to the comic. Because I mean, not that they have to do that often. Because I mean, Daryl's not even in it. But I appreciate that. Anyways,
no. My 2 cents.
Yes,
they didn't kill him off soon enough.
Thank you. Now,
no one in particular, but just him.
do you just Glenn? Oh, just him. Oh, got
just him.
Got
Yeah.
He doesn't know what he's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I didn't. I just was trying to figure out what he was saying. Do you want to go with my comic minute, or do you want to go with your woke of the week?
You go with your comic book minute here.
Okay.
I gotta.
So I have. So X-23 and Honey Badger were out last week. If you like X-23, but you haven't read any of her stuff, you don't really need to get into this, because I hadn't read a ton of her stuff. But after seeing her in Logan, I had to read something of hers. This is ongoing. She has a clone sister in Honey Badger, who was created not too long ago by Tom Taylor, who was writing X-Men Red. Both characters awesome, very different from one another. Batman Who Laughs #3 is coming out this week. If you want something good with Batman, I mean, it's kind of tough if you haven't read the Dark Knight's Metal. But I would definitely consider picking up Batman Who Laughs. West, you might like that a lot, because the main villain is Batman and Joker mixed into one. He's unbelievable.
Okay. I think I've seen images of this.
Okay, and then he's
got like the crazy teeth.
Yes.
He kind of looks like a bat.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
And he's impossible to stop, and Batman's got a whole nother thing going on right now.
Okay.
And then there's the Grim Knight too, who we haven't learned a ton about, but he's basically Batman with guns. So I mean,
is this like a Batman meets the Brothers Grimm?
No. No, he's just called the Grim Knight. Sorry, it's a Grim Knight. That's his name.
Well, that's what I was trying to put.
Did I say Grim Knight, or did I say Grim Batman?
You did. You said the Grim Knights, but
sorry.
Brothers Grimm are familiar with the classic fairy tales.
I got what you were going for. Mother Goose and stuff, right?
Well, they're a little bit more.
Isn't that one though?
There's like Hansel and Gretel and like all this other stuff.
So much more hardcore. I mean, I know the.
Well, if you read the actual stories like I did, I actually
terrible
took
movie
courses by the way on fairy tales and literature in college. Yes, I did. And because part of my English literature minor.
I'm starting to see more and more how we both ended up on this podcast, because you're taking fairy tale courses and I'm a European history minor.
I took fairy tale courses. I also took how The Simpsons shaped American literature, which was a fantastic course that went towards my minor. Thank you, Hofstra University.
What was your minor?
English Lit.
Oh, okay. And your major was journalism or communications?
Communications with a concentration in journalism. But
Either way. My last two things. One, Spawn Kills Everyone 2 issue 3 is out this week. The second issue was good, but not what I wanted. And the first issue was the worst thing I've read probably in a year or two. It was awful. And I generally don't read bad stuff. And then my last thing was Tim texted me the other day, actually, that he's using the Comixology app, and he has the Marvel Unlimited Universe app. Is that right, Tim?
Yeah, Marvel Unlimited. Yeah.
And you were Unlimited, okay? And you read some Red Hood stuff.
I did.
And I would love it if you could share with the listeners a little bit of your thoughts on my guy, Jason Todd.
I actually thought it was very enjoyable. I mean, my familiarity with Red Hood, I mean, aside from knowing that Jason Todd had become Red Hood, was I just remember the original Joker version of it. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, how are they bringing this back and having it not be cheesy and having it be lame? But you were always talking about what a badass he was.
Yeah. So he's a terrible Robin, amazing anti-hero.
But they do a great job of explaining that and explaining why he was a terrible... Like, he owns the fact that he was a terrible Robin.
Yep.
And so I was very impressed with the way that the character actually... I mean, I just jumped right in with this, whatever the series was. I forget the name of it.
Was it Under the Red Hood?
Nope, it was the one where it's...
New 52?
No, he's
Red Hood and the Outlaws.
Red Hood and the Outlaws, that's it. Black Mask is...
Yes, that's New 52, yep.
And then he's teaming up with Bizarro and
that's
the Amazon.
Rebirth. Oh, yes. So, Artemis, who's absolutely gorgeous, by the way. Beautiful redhead. Dexter Soy's artwork. I don't know if that early, but anyways. But I'm glad you liked it.
I don't think so. I don't think it was in this one, but it really was good. And what I liked about it was, it had. You're gonna get mad when I say this. It had a Marvel sensibility to it.
No, I get that. But see, that's what it has a Marvel.
Blasphemous?
No, it has a Marvel film sense to it, I think, or maybe Marvel of the '90s sense to it. I would say
just that we're not afraid to push the limit. I would even say '80s Punisher had that kind of
in
edge to it.
'80s, I don't know as well. '90s, I know a little bit better. And I think that's what's so frustrating for me about DC right now in the DCEU is the comics across the board, I find are better than anything Marvel's putting out right now. I think Marvel has kicked it into high gear a little recently, but throughout the early 2018, in late 2017, I was like, well, I'm going into DC. Forget this. And I mean, Nightwing, Deathstroke, and Red Hood are two of the best things out there, period. I recommend those to anybody.
With the exception of Deathstroke, I always found DC to have very... they kind of still were in that 1930s Superman.
Yeah, not like that anymore.
Where and I think part of that though too is they were a publicly traded company for a long time.
That could be
which means that you have to kind of keep things family friendly to appease the stockholders.
Sure, yeah.
But I like the Edge. I mean, I thought DC trying to do Edge would come across as lame.
Yeah, not at all.
It does not at all.
Even in New 52, there were some good parts to it. And I mean, like, I know my brother, he read Aquaman because someone recommended that to him because he likes Hank Pym a lot. And he loved him, too. He's not a DC guy by any stretch. So there's a lot of good DC stuff out there. If you're interested in reading or getting into this stuff, that's what Red Hood New 52 is honestly what got me back into reading
Not
comics.
to sidetrack, but speaking of Hank Pym, I watched Ant-Man and the Wasp yesterday.
Okay, first time?
Haven't seen it yet. Yep.
Oh,
I actually enjoyed that. I think better than the first Ant-Man movie.
it's better than
It is better than the first
It's not
one.
even
It's a
close.
fun ride. It's small stakes. It's a good time.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Evangeline Lilly is amazing. So her action scenes are phenomenal, and she's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a bit of a what we like to call a triple threat in the industry.
She's smart. She's
Well, I think the
athletic
triple threat is sing, dance, and act. But I don't know. Pick out another.
I think my triple threat would be smart,
clever,
athletic, and beautiful.
Oh,
I think that'd be my triple threat.
There's a scene in the movie where they're driving in the van, and Paul Rudd turns and looks at Evangeline Lilly, and I'm like, that's the exact same pose he gave in Clueless when he turned in the driver's seat and he looked at Alicia Silverstone. Like, I don't know if anybody else picks up on that. But
I wouldn't have picked up on that.
Yeah.
I
That's exactly
remember the movie, but
I love Paul Rudd for one thing. I mean, he's great in everything.
And Wes loves Paul.
I'm a
Rudd, too.
huge
Paul Rudd
Wet Hot
fan.
American Summer fan.
Oh,
He's so good in
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But because I love all those guys from the state. But what I will say is Paul Rudd is the single best Conan O'Brien guest of all time.
Oh.
Do you know why?
No.
Because he keeps this is actually a tie into Mac and Goo. He keeps bringing up a scene for whatever movie that he's supposed to be plugging that ends up getting replaced with a scene from Mac and Me every time.
Every single time. And every time Conan's like, are you really playing it? He's like, no, I swear this time it's not Mac and Me. And every time it's the same scene from Mac and Me. Have you ever seen Mac and Me?
No.
Terrible movie.
I've heard of it.
It's like it's supposed to be like E.T. Isn't that
It's an
supposed
E.T.
to be like-
ripoff
yeah,
that's really
Is
just
that
an
what
hour
it
and a
is?
half
Yeah.
long product
Oh
placement
my
commercial.
god.
So bad.
So we've gone way off the rails with your comic books. Anything else that you'd like to add to
No,
it?
that was it. I wanted to close on the Tim thing because I had a feeling it was going to go off the rails.
No, it was good. I enjoyed the conversation. It actually came full
not an
circle
insult.
here.
I say I don't bring things off the rails. No.
You just brought up Ant-Man when we were talking about Red Hood.
That's true, I did.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. Thank you.
So, without further ado, we'll get to the
Yes,
Stay
please.
Woke of the week. Let me just jot this down on my notes here. So, we got a big one on the Stay Woke of the week here. I came across this on a podcast and then did a little digging. We are going to go out to Buckeye, Arizona, to visit the Stardust Ranch, if you will. Okay, it's roughly 40 miles outside of Phoenix. And the owner is a Chicago native who bought this piece of land, who was his dream to have a farm without knowing any history about the farm. Bought this. His name's John Edmonds. He claims that the ranch is home to 2 portals that allow aliens, specifically small grays, the small grays, keep that in mind, to enter in opportune times, like any time they kind of feel like.
Okay.
And he is claimed to have killed 19 of these grays. With his weapon of choice, care to guess?
A machete?
Very close. A
Pickaxe.
samurai sword.
Dang it.
Samurai sword. And the key...
Grays? Grays?
Grays, yeah.
What are grays?
It's a believed to be a sect of alien. So there's like the Nordics, there's the small grays.
So they're kind of like the visitors from South Park.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, picture that. There we go. That's a good imagery in your mind's eye there.
So he's killed 18?
19. Give him his due.
My apologies.
And the way to truly kill these aliens is to chop off their heads. And if you don't chop off their heads, they send a transmission to their friends, so to speak, to call for backup, so to speak.
Oh.
Now, the alien's blood, quote unquote, and I put it in quotes because he describes it as more of like a body fluid, comparing it more to transmission oil. Now, he's done a whole bunch of interviews and podcasts and different things like that, and he seems like you can decide for yourself, but this sounds very legit to me.
Okay.
And that's all I want to do here is the Stay Woke moment, is not to push my ideas onto you, but maybe to get you to search a little bit into this.
What about, okay, are there other details?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So the alien's blood, which I said is my transmission oil,
Yes.
has been tested blindly by a number of university labs and scientists and everything like that. And they've been related and found other samples of the same blood, the same fluid, on animal mutilations scattered across the country over a vast majority of the years. But they don't know what it is. It's not of this earth. So this guy, John Edmonds, claims to
know what it
have
is.
the key. Yeah, it's aliens.
Well, there's definitely aliens out there. I believe that. That's a conspiracy theory I guess I buy into.
He's also been visited by men in black. Not like the Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones people, but like these people are maybe reptilians, maybe aliens, definitely not humans.
Oh.
That can pass through walls. And they said, hey, stop spreading the news right now. And these people have skin that looks like raw chicken. Like they don't look like real humans.
Oh man!
Like, have you seen the original Men in Black?
I'm not gonna sleep tonight.
Have you seen the original Men in Black?
Yeah.
You know the Egger suit?
I think I saw 1 and 2. The Egger suit.
Yeah, the guy who has to drink the sugar water and like he's the main villain, but he's walking around in the human skin like the Egger suit.
Is that Vincent D'Onofrio in that role?
I believe so.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Yeah, Kingpin.
Think of him. Yeah, nice, good guy, local guy.
Kingpin? No,
He's not.
That's
local,
Ultron. That's Ultron.
All right. Is James Spader from? I was just kidding. Yeah, I like to say that about
Marion.
people.
Yeah. Oh. Sorry. My bad. What was that, Tim?
Just a quick little trivia question for you. Do you know what other Marvel character Vincent D'Onofrio, quote unquote, played?
He did the voice of somebody, and I don't know who it was.
He did, and I can't remember which one, but he actually. No. That's not what I'm referring to.
Oh.
He actually played Thor in a movie.
Get out.
But it wasn't actually Thor, but it might have been Thor. In Adventures in Babysitting. He plays the guy who owns the garage where the babysitter's car gets taken to, and the little girl is obsessed with Thor. That's her. She wears the helmet and she carries the
So
hammer.
he pretends to be
This is
Thor.
where we
she
mute
sees him
Tim's
and
mic for going off the rails.
Yeah, his mic's off now.
Stay Woke of the Week. Give that a Google search because I think that's very interesting. Something you'll get tied up in much more than Vincent D'Onofrio. Playing Thor.
He deserves to have his name said.
Time.
But seriously though, Wes, I think that there's some legitimacy to that, and that's why I like doing this, because the fact there are universities involved in some way, shape, or form adds some credence to it.
There's legitimacy. Like not everyone who makes these claims are crazy.
Do you know what universities?
Too many.
Were they mentioned?
There were some Ivy Leagues that they said they never gave outright in the podcast. They said it was some Ivy League schools and some that were like University of insert state here.
So this is where you need to, if you're doing your so you've got me you got my ear.
That's all I want to do with this.
But if you went and found out if those universities actually said yes, we did this research, yes, that actually happened.
Well, the person who facilitated these blind research tests mysteriously died, and so did his wife. But that goes a lot.
Wait a minute. Wait, the guy, the people at the universities.
The person who set up the blind tests with John Edmonds, John Edmonds.
Yeah, it's fine.
With John Edmonds, the contact, the middleman between these universities and John Edmonds died.
Really?
And his wife. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And his wife.
So the tests, the people, the scientists don't know what they're testing. They just get this substance here, test it. We can't tell you what it is. Or where we found it or whatever. They just blindly test it.
That's weird. And it's John Edmonds, not Jim Edmonds, the former center fielder.
Right.
Okay.
Who made spectacular play, but dove a lot too.
One of my all-time favorite players.
Yeah, he's okay. He's overrated. But anything else? Any other questions you got on there?
No, I'm intrigued, and honestly,
I'm telling you,
I wouldn't hate it if you found more details and came back with that. As
it's very in depth, and there's a lot of layers to it. So I was trying to keep it short.
No, you did but maybe next week you should have more.
I would love to.
This is a really good one.
But
the only thing is that if just so everybody knows, this is episode 4.
Yeah,
if there isn't
3.
No, this is 4.
I think it's
no. We did The Punisher. We did Rotten Tomatoes Sucks, and the first one was obviously spoilers. This is episode 4.
Oh yeah, it's episode 4.
Yeah. So
I'll change that on my notes.
If we go, if we don't have an episode 5, you guys now know why. It has something to do with
Right.
This
They're watching.
We're looking into it too much. Well, clearly, I mean, if those reptilian dudes, that messes with me a little bit.
I'm telling you, look it up. Don't dig too deep into the reptilians because you'll freak yourself out.
People start. Oh, I won't look at it at all. I won't touch it. But I mean, just that thought. It's damn it, man. That's gonna mess with me. Tim knows I can't handle these stupid stories.
Whatever you do, don't YouTube search reptilians, because there's a lot of clips of like TV news anchors or politicians on TV revealing that they're actually reptilians, because they blink a certain way and then you can tell that they're reptilian aliens.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't like that.
No, we're good. I'm good.
It's very interesting. It's something to dig into late at night, in the witching hour, so to speak.
Yeah, that's exactly when we record this at 10 o'clock at night, and this is exactly when I don't want to hear. And I'm going to go into WPRI tomorrow, and then I'm going to look at everybody in the eye and see. And
you're going to be like driving through the outskirts of the Bridgewater Triangle as it is.
All right. We need to stop this. So we got the main topic of the week, Wes.
Yes.
It's Valentine's Day on.
We're going to shift from aliens
we're gonna
to love.
Stop bringing up the words, because I'm going to freak out.
Okay.
I'm already freaking out a little bit on the inside. I don't know how I'm going to talk about wooing a woman right now when I've got
a woman. Look at that. The alliteration Channel 7 would hire
reptiles
you
on
in
my
an instant.
friggin' mind right now. All right. So Wes and I were talking about getting ready for Valentine's Day.
Yes.
You've been with the same woman for now 5 years?
Coming on 5 years.
Coming on 5 years.
It'll be 5 years in July.
I'm glad you didn't insert her in that statement. Now, if you had said all of that and actually inserted the her instead of saying it like I did, that's a no-no on the radio.
Yeah.
But the way I did it, it still works, right, Tim? There's no issues there.
It's called nuance.
Good. Yeah, exactly. Now, whenever I've dated a girl, you obviously you watch rom-coms, you watch romances, or I do at least. I like to mix it up.
Well, you can't watch all your action movies, your superhero movies. There's got to be a give and take, especially if you're early on in the relationship.
Oh,
the movie that you pick could define how the rest of the night goes.
You definitely want to give more
it's an art.
When it comes to what's on film, for sure. You definitely want to give.
Yes, well, it's important to be a giver because in this season, it's the season of giving. It's not just Christmas time. I think it goes right up until the 14th. And if you give, this is a good rule of thumb out there, you shall receive.
It goes to the 15th.
The 15th. Well, the midnight hour, a la the witching hour, getting some brews.
No, the 15th is a whole other holiday unto itself.
What's that?
What is that?
Walk of Shame Day?
No, I can't say it.
Does it involve
it
meat?
Involves meat, and it involves
I've heard this.
another activity.
I've heard this, yes. I heard that was a month after.
I thought I heard it was
March
February
14th.
I thought it was February 15th.
Oh, well. Okay.
Celebrate twice. That's what I say.
I guess so. This is news to us here. I'm not sure if America has actually acknowledged the holiday. Maybe
there's no Hallmark card section yet, but it's coming.
Right.
Oh, good to know. I'll make sure I keep
it. So is everybody that celebrates it.
Do you see? I got it.
What?
There's no
Hallmark.
no holiday cards, but it's coming. And if you knew the holiday, that was...
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, there we go.
Too smart for me, Tim.
So, the argument here is when we sit down is, what do you want to watch? What is the better watch? There's a couple of different perspectives on there.
For Valentine's Day, we're talking.
But for Valentine's Day, is it a romantic comedy? Or just a straight-up romantic drama, romance?
Well, yeah, romantic drama, I think, is the fair way to put it. That's how it's defined online.
Yeah.
I call them romances.
Yeah, it's just a straight-up romance there. So... I have taken the popular argument of romantic comedies from the male perspective.
What we believe is the popular perspective.
Well, yeah.
The modern man now, Wes, is a little more in tune with his emotions. He doesn't need comedy to
now,
mask
as you see, I'm gonna give you the floor first.
Oh.
But as you'll see in my argument, that it's romantic comedy is the all-encompassing smorgasbord cornucopia of films, if you will.
Okay. So my first point. Guys who can't share your emotions, which there are definitely a lot of guys out there like that. I would say
most.
If you're what is it, older than a millennial, then if you don't fall into that group and you're older, then you are definitely someone who doesn't show your emotions as well on average, I would say.
Yeah.
That's where, I mean, I know like my old man, he's not in that regard. He's not the best at it.
Same with my father.
Sure. There you go. And Tim, obviously he doesn't have any emotions.
Right.
So when it comes to seeing a romance with your wife, fiance, girlfriend, whatever it is, we're saying girlfriends here because that's what Wes and I prefer, just for clarification. It's just simpler that way.
Yes, we'll really telegraph that out there. But for, it's whatever your fancy is, whatever tickles your pickle,
exactly.
Who are we to decide?
I'm just saying I'm not going to go and say partner the entire time. Because I have...
we get the idea. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways. So... if you go see a romance, this is a way of showing that you have emotions to some extent and kind of showing it off like, yes, I think this is a good movie. Yes, I think this is sweet. And then for the guys like me and you, Wes, who have emotions, who can show our emotions.
I would disagree. I think I haven't felt anything in years. Hand to God, I don't know the last time I cried.
Can your fiance say the same thing?
I say that line all the time, George. I'm probably going to get yelled at when I get home for it, but I haven't felt that. I really haven't. I feel like Dennis Reynolds sometimes in It's Always Sunny, which is a reference I know you don't always understand because you don't watch the show, but he just doesn't feel anything. Like he just keeps onions in his pocket just in case like there's a moment where he has to draw up some tears, and he holds it up to his nose like this, so he draws some tears out, and then he fakes it. Like,
okay.
That's me.
Well, I'm very in tune with my emotions, and this is a time for me to shine because I know when I watch a romance, I'm going to bawl my eyes out.
When was the last movie that you cried to? Offhand.
I know that with these movies that I've watched, with the exception, well, I haven't... I know my number one, I cry every time. I at least tear up. I know with my number two, I cried the first time I saw it. I can't remember, but I definitely cry outside of romances. Like I'll have stupid movies where it doesn't make any sense, and I'll tear up a little bit.
I cried Saturday night at a movie.
What movie?
I watched Won't You Be My Neighbor?
Oh, HBO. Mr. Rogers.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Isn't that a documentary?
It is, but I cried incessantly, and I gave up trying to hide it.
I cry on the inside every time I have to move your mic up.
Oh.
What?
That's all right, because I couldn't make it so it's always on. You wouldn't have to actually use that button.
That is the technician
the button. The button is on the whole time. I'm using the.
I could completely override that.
Oh, could you? Well, I'm kind of putting it down as a courtesy because I know you're doing other stuff over there, so that way if you want to say something under your breath, you don't have to worry about it.
Throw it in there.
So, anyways, the other thing is, who doesn't like to cry a little bit once in a while? I do personally. I love a good cry. It helps me. I feel like I get cleansed. I mean, now look, if something serious happens in your life, or someone passes away, or you're with someone for an extended period of time, you're dating someone and then you break up. Yeah, that's tough. That's different. But outside of that, when you're watching, happy, whether it's happy, sad, whatever, and it's not about you, it's just it's just a story. Then I feel like that's relaxing in some way, shape, or form. You take
having a cry, to sit down and have a good cry.
Yeah, every once in a while. I'm not saying I'm doing it once a week.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Now the other thing is, you can get obviously major brownie points in the course of it all. It doesn't have to carry into movies. I like seeing another movie either.
This could turn though. This whole thing could, depending if it's too early in the relationship, and you go to, when do you break out the Notebook in a relationship?
Okay, I'm not doing Notebook. Okay, if I'm like going out on Valentine's with a girl for the first time, and we've been together for 2 months. And like, let's say the Notebook just came out in theaters, I'm not taking her to that. I think it's a little too far. Yeah. I think 5 months in though, I would do that. I think
depending on the romance movie is sending a very strong, very stern message to the receiving party here that, hey, I'm serious.
At the same time,
that's a big step.
Well, I think it also shows I can give a little. The other thing is if like, let's say Black Panther had just come out, say it's last year. Let's say
came out right around Valentine's Day.
It did. So let's say we saw Black Panther right before then. It's like, all right, we're going to see a movie. We're not going to see a comedy. We're not seeing a romantic comedy. I want to see a movie you like. And if this is one she's wanted to see, it's like, I was going to see it with my girlfriend, but I can't. Then I'm like, I'll go see it with you. It doesn't matter. Even if it's 2 months in, I will take that bullet. But I won't let her see me cry because that's where it gets a little dicey early. The other thing is, and this is a very important detail that would get overlooked. If you're dating a girl, let's say it's 5 months in, and that's just me. If I go see a romance movie with her, And then I start crying, and then she's bothered by it because I have dated someone who was bothered by the fact that I cried in movies, so that I cried in general. That's a big red flag.
Are you a loud crier? Are you like sobbing and like choking?
I might go like a little bit,
okay,
but nothing. No. Like I only loud cry when something serious happens, like if someone dies. Then it's
yeah.
But I mean, I think that's acceptable for anybody. Everybody, copes in their own way.
Sure.
But in a movie, it's a little. It's like I'll start tearing up, and I might wince a little or something. But I dated a girl who had a problem with the fact that I cried.
Wow.
It's a red flag in my book. If a woman doesn't want a guy to be sensitive, you can't have emotions. You're not allowed.
Again, it could depends on the situation.
I don't think it does.
How early in the relationship did you release that side of you?
That one was at least 5 months after the fact. I would say close. Yeah, definitely 5 months after.
Going on 5 years. Never cried in front of Julia.
Really?
Never cried. I've had frogs in my throat. I went to go see A Star Is Born with her.
Yeah.
The whole place is in tears. It's waterworks all over the place, left and right.
You didn't cry.
Lumps in my throat. Frogs in my throat.
Let me ask you, did you know what was going on the entire movie, or did you take some substances beforehand?
Yes and yes. Those aren't mutually exclusive. Like, I do know what's going on.
Well, that's why you see your spoilers beforehand, so that in case you get lost.
Well, months in advance, that's just a good to kind of have like a benchmark sort of thing.
Did you know
what
was going to happen going into that movie? Like, did you actually know the important details?
Considering it was being remade for the 4th time, there's a certain amount of details that you know too. But no, I didn't know the big reveal.
Okay, well that's important. So the fact that you didn't cry just means that you have no soul. Okay. So go ahead. What's your case for romantic comedies?
Wikipedia defines romantic comedy, also known as portmanteaus romedy or rom-com. This is a direct copy and paste. Portmanteaus romedy.
Okay.
Yes.
Am I supposed to laugh at that?
I thought it was a funny word, yeah. Is a genre with lighthearted, humorous plot lines centered around romantic ideas, such as how true love is available to surmount or is able to surmount most obstacles. Mm-hmm. One dictionary definition is a funny movie, play, or television program about a love story that ends happily. Another definition is that its primary distinguishing feature is a love plot with which two sympathetic and well-matched lovers are united or reconciled. Now, here's the argument that I'm going to lay out for you. It doesn't matter if you're early in a relationship, middle in a relationship, or married for an extended period of time. These romantic comedies are foolproof because you get a little bit of everything. You get a little bit of comedy. It's nothing too serious. It shows that you have a sense of humor, but it also shows that you have a nice side, that you care about happy endings. You care about the guy getting the girl at the end of the day. You care about things working out in your favor. And even in some of the cringeworthy stuff. Now, Nick, you are a single man?
Yes.
Although engaged, I feel like I've been married for a while. We have lived together for 3+ years.
Wow.
You realize that real relationships aren't based off movies like The Notebook, where someone is running into their arms in the middle of the rain and saying, if you're a bird, I'm a bird, then we're all birds together. And we just flock around.
Okay.
I dropped a little quote on you there.
Yeah.
But it's really like two people just sitting in sweatpants on the couch, like eating junk food and making fun of the movie that you're watching. Like that's real life. Like that's really what it is. And you're just kind of doing your own Mystery Science Theater, act where you're just kind of talking over the movie anyway and saying things that you hate and you don't like about the character and that sort of stuff. I mean, that's what real love is.
For you, it's real
I would
love.
say most adults.
Do you know
in like long-term relationships?
Do you know most adults?
Yeah. I would say I mostly know adults.
No, I didn't ask if you mostly know adults. I know you mostly know adults.
Yeah.
Do you know most adults?
Well,
like, you know half of Massachusetts adults? I don't think you do.
I would say about an eighth.
An eighth? I don't know about
relatively
that.
speaking.
They might know you because you're such a big deal on Cape Cod with all the sports coverage you provide.
Well, yeah, that is true. I am a man of the people. So, I think there's that. But I think most people would agree with me on that. What? That wasn't a joke. That was a real fact right there. I don't know why you're lying. He's losing it. But with that said, so I think the romantic comedy is the ideal because you're not giving too much too early. And you're also Nick. I'm trying to look at him and keep him with a straight face right now. Nick he's doing like the silent laughing right now.
I'm trying to hold it in so you can talk.
Oh, it's
I'm
great.
listening to what you're saying.
I know. No, it's funny. It's.
If nothing else,
I've lost
it's a ringing endorsement for why you should watch us on the WBSM YouTube channel. In addition to listening to us on audio form, because it's
a perfect
different
moment. It's
a different experience, doing both, as Wes and I both know.
You're in here with us. Come here, sit down, have a seat, have a chat with us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But anyways, you were talking about
I think it's real life. I think it's real life there, and it's the perfect balance between a little bit of everything, because they could be romantic movies can be heavy and they can be boring, and it's some sort of a compromise, which is what a relationship is. It's that I like comedy, you like romance. Let's meet in the middle. Eat some chips and then maybe do it afterwards.
Well, but there are some things in romantic comedies where it's like there's no way you could get past that in a real relationship, where I feel like in romances it's like you deal with the real things that are going on. It's like it's a real thing. It's realistic that this happened, and we're going to get past it. And I love you no matter what. It doesn't matter.
I guess so. I just think Nicholas Sparks' version of a relationship is not my version of a relationship. Like that's not how the world works.
Yeah, but sometimes it doesn't have to be. I don't feel like everything has to be in a movie real life. Like, I think that's one thing that people talk about with like the Marvel movies all the time now.
Well, yeah, we're not having superheroes flying around in capes and underwear coming to save us.
But there's a level of believability to some of the characters that are involved in it. Like, as much as Iron Man is flying around and has this nanotech, part of what makes him so good is there's a level of believability. And I don't think we always need that in film. Like, I think the original Blade, like the first two Blade movies, I love, but when I watch them, it's like these are kind of wacky. Like, it's definitely early 2000s, late 90s vibe to it. Romance, I'm not saying obviously that they're wacky, but there is an element of, yes, I don't know that this level of love is realistic. Like, what they're trying to do isn't gonna work out.
No,
but
and
they
half
love
the
each other
audience
so
that they're
much.
talking to is just divorced anyway.
Well, that may be true.
So it's like, what are you trying to? You're trying to sell me something that I already don't know.
I don't know as many people as you know, apparently, Wes. That's what it really comes down to. I think you've done a survey for this, and you have a much better read on it.
I did a little field research. Field
research.
Yeah.
You were right.
I was there. Yeah, I got it.
You're good.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, you got to stop second guessing yourself on
I know,
these
I should, yeah.
sayings you got right. But anyways, anything else about romantic comedies?
I think I'm ready to go into it. I just think that, romantic comedies, it's the best of both worlds.
This is exactly so.
It's compromise. It's what relationships are.
Like I said going into this, this is where my strength of the argument was. Giving you the reasons why a romance is better. Now, you have a deeper bench than I do when it comes to rom-coms, for sure.
Yes.
Because I was going through the list, and it's like, God, this is technically a romantic comedy. Any of these movies, there may be like a slight, like the ones I have slight comedic
moments, but it's not a comedy.
And some of the ones that you had, like the one that's third on your list, that we I think,
and I'm almost willing to like give you that, because I find like I think there's funny moments, but I don't think it's really a comedy.
I thought it was a romantic movie that had comedic elements. Right.
So let's get into it. So give me your list here. I don't know if you have 5, but give me what you got from the bottom to the top.
Yep. So I have 2018's A Star Is Born. Now, in fairness,
love that movie.
I have not seen it. I have not heard a bad thing about it though.
How is this on your favorite romance movie?
No, I'm recommending it to
How could you
everybody.
recommend something you haven't seen?
Because I value everybody that has spoke highly of it. I value their opinion.
Okay.
And I know, and I know there's one person in particular who didn't like it because it was so sad, and I know automatically that makes it a great romance movie.
100%. Can you share?
Who the person is?
Yeah.
No, it's relative. I'll just leave it at that. They'd probably rather I don't say who it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyways.
Wow. Causing some stir up in the family.
I know, it's not a big deal. Number 4 is, and look, I say it as number 5. I'm willing to bet that would jump to my number 2 based on what I've heard, but because I haven't seen it, and obviously starring Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga, and directed by Bradley Cooper too. I didn't realize that. Lady Gaga, excuse me. Number 4, 1997's The Titanic, directed by James Cameron, featuring Leo and Kate Winslet. I mean, that I think is
horrible love story.
Why?
The whole premise, he saves her life, and she's just like, nah, don't hop on the board, son. They just sit in the water and freeze.
I feel like that's just the easiest BS throw out line
because
in the world.
It's true.
No, it's not
That's not true love. Like, he paints her naked, and she repays him by like, nah, just hold on to my hand.
Dude, there's no shot.
Why do you lose the feeling in your toes?
If you're, do you realize that they just went through this traumatic experience on a sinking ship, and there's like, what else are you supposed to do in that circumstance?
Hop on the board with me.
There's no way.
She survived.
He wouldn't have fit. Anyways, by the way, I forgot to read the synopsis of A Star Is Born.
Yes.
A musician helps a young singer find fame, even as age and alcoholism send his own career into a downward spiral. For the Titanic, it is a 17-year-old aristocrat falls in love with a kind but poor artist aboard the luxurious, ill-fated RMS Titanic. My number 3, okay, and Tim was joking about, you're seeing a Disney movie on a date. Beauty and the Beast, 1991. A selfish prince is cursed to become a monster for the rest of his life unless he learns to fall in love with a beautiful young woman he keeps prisoner. This is a movie, you watch it with a girl on your, like, this is not the heavy romance, but it's still a romance and definitely not a rom-com.
Right.
A girl's going to love watching this early on in the relationship.
Now, I think so, but it also could be, depending on how it goes, depending on the type of relationship they've already built to this point, it could be kind of creepy that you're playing a children's animated movie so early in the game. Like, that's like you're coming out in the air mode, like, check out my favorite movie.
Listen, does Julia like Disney movies?
Yeah, of course she does.
When did you find that out? When did, really?
Everyone loves Disney movies.
Everyone loves Disney movies from our age. Oh, really? So then why is it creepy?
So.
Why is it creepy then? If everybody loves them, what's so weird about it?
Imagine meeting like a 29-year-old and says, you know what movie I really want to see? Is Beauty and the Beast.
A 29-year-old girl?
Man.
Well, if I had a man that wanted to watch Beauty and the Beast with me, that would be weird. Yes.
But no, I'm assuming you like choosing this movie out with the girl. Like, I'm going to impress this girl by showing her Beauty and the Beast.
If I know she likes that stuff, then there's nothing weird about it.
I think you're inviting
it's like, hey,
pedophilia into the picture.
This is where you got to learn how to listen to women, and this is where I show, oh, you like Beauty and the Beast a lot, or you like, let's say, it's Aladdin instead, or Little Mermaid. Do you want to watch this? Do you want to watch this on Valentine's Day? We can get dinner. I'll make dinner for you at home, and then we'll watch this on the big screen.
You've already said you can cook.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we could go. You could go and do something like that. I think that's a great move because now it's like I care about the stuff that you like. And again, this is where I bury you. These little things, the little details, Wes.
All right.
Number 2 on my list is The Notebook. A poor yet passionate young man falls in love with a rich young woman. Why is the female always rich and the guy's always dirt poor? Giving her a sense of freedom, but they are soon separated because of their social differences. I mean, I don't need to sell The Notebook any further to anybody. The one I do need to sell, I think, a little bit because it's not as well known, but by far my favorite. And I'll watch.
Right.
I watch this movie by myself, and I watch it when it's not Valentine's Day. The Longest Ride, also a Nicholas Sparks movie. The lives of a young couple intertwine with a much older man, and he reflects back on past love.
Who's in this movie?
So you have Scott Eastwood and what is Sophia's name? I don't know what the actress's name is. Not that I really care, to be perfectly honest. Britt Robertson.
Yeah. Scott Eastwood, handsome man.
I find her attractive. But anyways, this is you got a cowboy and a girl who's at college. They're pretty much the same age. He's a bull rider.
Okay.
And then you have this other couple that you kind of see flashbacks of back from, I think they're in South Carolina, and it's back in the 40s. I think it's just after World War II or right around that time. And you see their relationship and how it's similar but different to the young couple relationship in the present time. And then everything that goes on, the love that these two have for one another. And then you see the guy, Scott Eastwood, how he loves her, but he doesn't know how to show it, and he can't let himself release because he's got so much else going on in his life. It's just
you lost me.
I'm okay.
I'm out. That's the problem with romance. They're so slow and boring.
I think I overloaded you there, and that's part of the problem.
Well, that could be part of it too.
You have a relatable guy and a relatable girl.
He's a bull rider. What's relatable about a bull rider? I don't know anything about a bull rider.
See, and this is where you're getting caught up in the stupid details of the fact that he's a bull rider.
He's relatable.
He's relatable. Outside of the fact that he's a bull rider,
Except his entire profession is done by maybe less than 1% of the American population.
How he carries himself, who he is as a man. Again, you're talking like you know what everybody in the world population does.
I'm safe. I can go out on a limb and say that maybe less than 1% of the American public bull rides professionally.
Here's your homework. Go watch, and you can give me a movie too, by all means. Go watch Longest Ride with Julia and tell me what she says, and then see what you say. You'll probably be like, "Yeah, I didn't like it." She'll love it.
Out of spite, I think I'll go into it regardless of I'll just tell you that I hated it.
She'll tell me. She'll tell me how she felt.
Yeah, she would.
The Longest Ride, 2015.
Okay,
love it.
Can I go over to the winning side now? Is that acceptable?
If you mean your side, then yes, you can go over to your side.
Yes, I do. Because the list is so large, I have a list of 20. So I'm just run through the honorable mentions real quick.
Okay.
He's Just Not That Into You.
Okay.
Tin Cup. A little sports action in there. A little Rene Russo.
Is that the one that was on YouTube?
I don't know.
Or that was one of the two chicks. I'm sorry, my mistake.
Oh, I see. I see what you did there. But YouTube, I don't know.
Wrong cup movie.
Pretty Woman, huh? Yeah, you're welcome. That's based off a lot of other movies.
It's fine.
Chasing Amy. Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Overrated.
The Wedding Singer. You're a baseball guy. How about some Bull Durham?
Overrated.
I will.
Also
okay. The Princess Bride. When Harry Met Sally. Mm-hmm. Will you have what she's having? I think I might. Any Judd Apatow movie? Any of them? Knocked Up, 40-Year-Old Virgin.
You know, Catherine,
This Is 40.
I think Katherine Heigl hated Seth Rogen.
She
after
did.
That, yeah.
They hated everyone. Wedding Crashers, almost in my top 5.
How is that not in your top 5 rom-com?
Well, I have a strong top 5.
I think it's a borderline rom-com. Like if you're filing it where it belongs.
It's not. It's really a comedy that just happens to have some romantic elements.
I think
that was kind of my thought process.
By the way,
have you seen Hitch?
Yes.
Kevin James, the tour de force that is Kevin James in that role.
The whole like romance with comedic elements, like all that kind of stuff. I never thought of that stuff until Mac and Goo and all those guys.
Oh, really?
I never thought of that ever.
Oh, very interesting. Yeah.
Anyways, you were saying
number 5 on my list. We'll get to the main ones here. Bridesmaids.
Okay.
Comedy with some very strong romantic overtones. A 2011 film where competition between the maid of honor and a bridesmaids over who is the bride's best friend threatens to upend the life of an out-of-work pastry chef. Beautiful story starring Kristen Wiig, Maya Rudolph, Rose Byrne, Ellie Kemper.
Rose Byrne, that's it.
Melissa McCarthy, John Hamm, Chris O'Dowd. That's a tour de force cast right there. I'm going to keep bringing tour de force back into the conversation
I've noticed
here.
this twice so far.
Number 4 for
2
me.
minutes.
There's Something About Mary, 2008 film.
I'm surprised this was in
the best Farrelly Brothers movie. Maybe Kingpin's up there. Kingpin is up there for me, but this was obviously the one that put them on their map.
Kingpin's Bill Murray, Woody Harrelson, and John Dennis too, right?
Yeah, John Dennis is in that. Yeah, Bill Murray, the best villain, Kingpin right there.
What's up, Tim? Oh, I thought you were going to say something. Sorry.
No, I was just leaning forward.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this movie is about a man getting a chance to meet up with his dream girl from high school, even though his date with her back then was a complete disaster, starring Ben Stiller as, of course, Ben Stiller, Cameron Diaz, and Matthew Dillon.
Ben Stiller as Ben Stiller?
Yeah, because like the best Ben Stiller roles are just essentially when he plays a neurotic Jewish guy, which is him anyway. It's just like Meet the Parents sort of thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
Number 3, this is the one that I was going to throw your way because I just have so many.
Yeah, this one's weird.
But I saw this recently and I loved it. Silver Linings Playbook, a 2012 movie. After a stint in a mental institution, former teacher Pat Solitano moves back in with his parents and tries to reconcile with his ex-wife. Things get more challenging when Pat meets Tiffany, a mysterious girl with problems of her own.
J-Law.
Love J-Law. Love Bradley Cooper. Robert De Niro's in this movie. A lot of great. You get some gambling, get a little bit of Philadelphia Eagles, like something that really like the city can get behind as like a champion for the city of Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess if you're into that sort of thing. Number 2, this kind of goes in line with my top 2 choices of multiple big name actors starring in roles that have all intertwined around the second or third act of the movie. So definitely Maybe, a 2008 film where a political consultant tries to explain his impending divorce and past relationships to his 11-year-old daughter. starring Ryan Reynolds, who's dreamy. Doesn't every guy kind of think that he wants to be Ryan Reynolds in some way, shape, or form?
No, I'm happy being Nick Fryer.
Well, you know, Ryan Reynolds is doing pretty good for himself.
Yeah, he's doing great for himself, but you got to work on your self-esteem issues.
I do. Well, that's a whole different episode, my friend.
Yeah, I bet.
Abigail Breslin, Isla Fisher. I don't know how you pronounce it.
I say Isla Fisher.
Isla?
It's Isla.
Isla? Okay.
Like Isla Nublar. Correct. Right. Elizabeth Banks. Great movie again, where they have all these characters that they kind of build up, and then by the third act, everything kind of unveils to this big kind of unveiling. Kind of meets up to this and unveils to an unveiling. Yeah, that's Talking 101. That's communications at Hofstra. Thank you. And my number one movie is Crazy Stupid Love, which I think is does the best job of all these multiple characters that are kind of interweaved. Middle-aged husband's life changes dramatically when his wife asks him for a divorce. He seeks to rediscover his manhood with the help of a newfound friend, Jacob, learning to pick up girls at bars, not just a bar, multiple bars. Starring Steve Carell, who's fantastic in this. Ryan Gosling, who, again, I think every guy kind of wants to mold themselves after, especially in this role. Emma Stone, Julianne Moore, and the climax of the film is just great. When all these characters come crashing into each other's worlds and all the worlds collide and everyone kind of makes love. They make love. Like maybe not actually, but they make love together. You didn't
bring up 10 things I hate about you in any of this, by the way.
No, I did. Honorable mention.
You did?
It's in there. Maybe I skipped over it, but I had it on here.
You told me you had it on there. I was a little honestly, I just saw that for the first time recently, and I love that movie.
Yeah, isn't that like Hamlet or something? Like, isn't it like some Shakespeare?
It's Taming of the Shrew, right?
Taming of the Shrew.
Yeah.
But it was, what was great about that movie is, like, generally, when you're dealing with teen rom-coms, unless you're a teen, you tend to not like them. Mm-hmm. You tend to feel like, but even adults that saw that film, like when it came out, loved that film.
Yeah, it's a good film.
But I think your list is solid, Wes, for sure. And I think you have the number one right for sure.
Oh yeah. Crazy Stupid Love, fantastic movie.
Tim, what would be your number one rom-com?
I think 10 Things I Hate About You is probably up there. It's one of the few that I can tolerate watching like on its own.
Because they get cheesy. Yeah, I get that.
It's hard to watch a romantic comedy just yourself.
Right.
But
unless you got a bottle of lotion nearby.
Wow. No, they don't even have those aspects to them.
Dude, you have such a tough time with this stuff. You just said it like the first episode. You had the porno mag still. You're a millennial. There's no excuse. Like you had the computer in high school.
He's old school.
Who does that though? But that's one of those things you shouldn't be old school with.
I know that you guys were picking a lot of those, more recent rom-coms, like the Crazy Stupid Love, and especially these ones where they're all coming together.
Right.
Wasn't there 16 Candles? Isn't that a rom-com?
16 Candles. Yeah.
Yeah, going back, those are like John Hughes films.
I've never seen it, but I
Say Anything, right? That's
Say
John
Anything
Hughes
was a great one. There was a good amount of them in the 80s that were pretty good, but there was a lot that were dumb too, like Can't Buy Me Love and Loverboy, which were like the Patrick Dempsey star vehicles. But the 90s had a great run of really good rom-coms, especially like the Hugh Grant era. And one of my favorites is a very underappreciated Hugh Grant movie, but it's called 9 Months.
Never heard of it.
It was really like kind of under the radar. I think it kind of might have been the movie that came out when that whole thing happened with him and the
that's Richard Gere.
Same difference.
No, this was
great hair.
He got caught with a prostitute named Divine Brown.
Divine?
Yes. And so it was around the time that whole thing happened, but it has an awesome cameo by Robin Williams.
Okay.
That will just crack you up. I mean, it's a really good movie in addition to being a romantic comedy, but that was the thing about those 90s era ones was they had to make them kind of more appealing as opposed to just being a straight romance.
Okay.
And I think they kind of set that bar. They
definitely set the bar.
What do you prefer?
What Tim's preferring. It's not even. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I prefer romantic comedies.
Yeah,
if I had to watch one or the other.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what. Right now, we're trying to give guys advice with this stuff, and I guarantee.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Take advice from the single guy on how to get back a girl.
I don't struggle on Valentine's Day, and I'm a pretty good date. I will say.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm sure you're a fantastic date.
Thank you.
When we went to Moby Dick Brewing Company in New Bedford to talk about all this, I thought you were very gracious.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. Yeah.
He was one drink. He was very.
As a guy married for 15 years,
buttoned up,
and together for 20. Let me tell you a little bit of advice.
Oh, here we go.
You need both. You need a good mixture of both.
Well, that's why I think the rom-com gives that to you. You get the romance, you get the comedy, it's bam, right in the middle.
You know, a rom-com can be something that
Is that
you
what you
grab
meant? You said both? Or did
on a Wednesday night.
No, I just twisted that.
No, a rom-com something that's like good on a Wednesday night.
That's
You know, or like if the both of you are home on a Saturday, you know, you sit and watch that movie. But you see the big romance movies like Nick's talking about. That's what you want to pull
and
out
that's
on
why,
Valentine's.
and that was one thing I forgot to write down for Valentine's Day. You can watch a rom-com whenever. This is the one time a year you gotta watch a romance. It's like this is my it's
you
your
know
day.
what?
It's about me showing you how much I love you.
This is not a day where I watch movies. Period. So I'm not going to go out and watch a romance movie
That's
or a
because you're
rom-com on
not
Valentine's
married
Day. Well, no, I watch movies any other day, any other time.
Once you're married, you realize like you don't want to go out.
Are you
on
surprised?
Valentine's
No, I
Day.
want to go
Julia
out.
for Valentine's Day this year?
Surprising. What do you mean?
Does she not know what the plans are yet?
No, she knows the plans.
So
Yeah,
then
we're
what are the
into it.
plans for Valentine's
We're
Day?
going out to a very nice sushi restaurant out in Plymouth, right on the waterfront.
Mm-hmm.
You made the reservation
And then-
already, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the
I
rest.
learned that lesson.
Wait,
hard.
he's a rookie?
No, I learned that lesson hard my very first Valentine's Day.
Well, this isn't okay. Okay, that I understand. but
that's got to be
I'll
embarrassing.
tell you that story off the air. It's not embarrassing. It just shows how stupid I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Naive.
Naivete. But okay, so now you're gonna put up a poll for this, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so there'll be a poll on the Change My Mind Twitter account.
Yes. We'll have that out there on Tuesday.
Yep. Now, what else has been on your mind leading up to this episode, Wes?
Broad City. That's on my mind. The final season, I believe it's season 3.
You watched that?
Oh, I love it. Yeah. I think
Really?
it's hysterical. Yeah.
I've never given it a shot. It looks so dumb to me.
The first season
Not
was
my humor.
fantastic. It was almost like they kind of billed it as like a female version of Workaholics, but it was a lot better, a lot different than that. I don't think that was really an accurate portrayal. The second season, it got away from that kind of buddy comedy, crazy hijinks running around New York City sort of thing. It got very political. It was right after the Trump administration kind of took house, and they are obviously very outspoken Democrats. So what became to be humor with strong undertones for women and the maybe disenfranchised or minorities or whatever the case is, turned into just kind of what I thought to be like crazy full-on Trump bashing, lazy writing, just kind of defaulting to that. Season 3 has kind of gotten back more to season 1 in that respect.
Is the final season?
Yeah, I believe it's the final one. Yeah.
Comedy Central?
On Comedy Central. I believe it's on Thursdays at 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Then, of course, True Detective. I'm in episode 6. This is just fantastic, gripping television. The story has not an ounce of fat on it. Everything is on there is supposed to be in there for a reason to make you think about one thing or another, which I love. So you can have to go over and dissect everything, go back and reread everything.
Did I see somewhere that some other big actor got linked to True Detective now? There's another. I feel like someone else got linked. Go ahead.
For season 4? For a new season?
Maybe.
I haven't heard anything. That would be great. I would actually love that. But there's 2 episodes left. There's still a lot to unravel, which are made for like 120 minutes of very gripping television. But I'm fully in on this. Like I said, my fiance and I, we sit down and watch it, and we come up with our own theories about what we think is going on and all this different stuff. And it leaves all these type of red herrings kind of open for you, so you can have this type of conversation. And I believe Tim is trying to get on the mic here.
I apologize.
Well, I just wanted to say I did hear a rumor that in the final couple of episodes there's going to be a link between this case and the season 1 case.
I've heard that too. There's been a couple of cases too where you see the spiral circle shown a couple of times, and they're supposed to be going back to when they actually went back and caught not Freddie Ledoux, but the actual guy from season 1. That last timeline from season 1 with Rustin.
Was it Carcosa? Was that?
Carcosa, yeah, Carcosa and the Yellow King. Carcosa was like the layer, if you will.
So they're saying that this could be real, and I couldn't believe that in the last episode, just having Stephen Williams pop in there.
What do you mean, Stephen Williams?
When the wife was giving the lecture, giving the book talk.
Oh, and the guy with the eye.
Yeah,
yes,
that was Stephen Williams portraying him, and I actually had a glimpse in my head when they first described that character. Like something popped into my head, like Stephen Williams is going to be that guy, and then of course they go to the trailer park and it's not Stephen Williams, And then
Now, who's
turns out
Stephen
later
Williams?
on-
Why don't I know that name?
Originally going back all the way to 21 Jump Street, he was
Oh,
the captain on that. But
okay.
he was on X-Files. Generally, like, he's always.
So my idea of that in the head was, I'm probably blanking on his name. It's not Marlowe from. Why am I blanking on this?
I can't help you.
You're thinking of from The Wire.
The Wire, Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah,
and,
wow.
yeah, I'm blanking on his name.
Blanking on his name.
The guy with the scar on his face.
The greatest character of all time
Yeah.
What show?
on The Wire. Don't tell me. You come at the king, you best not miss.
Yeah. Why can't I think of his name?
Is it Alba's character? Dominic
Nope.
West? Wendell
Nope.
Pierce?
No, it's Michael S. Williams' character.
Michael K. Williams, you mean?
Michael K. Williams.
Omar
I mean,
Little?
Omar.
Oh,
That's
yes.
it, Omar.
Yes, yeah, that's it.
If
I've still never seen The Wire.
you need to watch The Wire.
I will. I've just not said it. Well, there's some heavy hitters in that.
It's a great show.
Yeah, there's some heavy hitters in that.
It's in the argument of greatest of all time.
I've heard that. Michael Rooker was who I was thinking of.
Oh, okay.
Yes, he's in True Detective.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, but I
go
guess
with
his
that.
role has been kept under wraps and I guess it's a big reason. I guess according to Vanity Fair, I don't know.
Oh, he's in this season?
There's the spoiler.
I don't know if it's this season or not. So I will leave it at that.
And just a side note, not to sidetrack the conversation, but on True Detective, I don't know how to say his name. The actor who plays
Mahershala
Wayne Gacy.
Ali.
So
Got
as
that
much
right.
as much as everybody has,
He's not
been-
in season 3, by the way. Sorry.
Well, no, it's
No, I'm sorry. I'm talking about Michael Rooker thing. So
Oh, okay.
for everybody listening.
as much as he has been fantastic in this, don't sleep on Steven Dorff.
He's been awesome.
He has been fantastic.
And his wig choice?
I did not
Top
believe
notch.
that he had that kind of acting chops. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember him being a 10-year-old kid in The Gate.
Right. Or in Blade. That's kind of what I remember him from.
Man, fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you got?
So I was thinking, again, along the lines of what we're talking about and everything. When I'm taking a girl out for Valentine's Day, I care about the music that I'm playing for as well.
Sure.
I think it's very, very important. And because it kind of shows, again, I care about the little details, and I have songs that I like that you're going to like too. So these would be my top 5 songs to play for a girl when you pick her up for Valentine's Day. So they're all a little different, but they're all in the country genre. So not necessarily.
I was going to say, is this like John Mayer?
No, John Mayer's not
No?
me, not for me. This also sets the precedent.
John
Like
Mayer's
this is
guitarist.
I understand he's talented. He's just not my style.
Okay,
He's not my
okay,
type.
okay,
Like Jack
all right.
Johnson, right? He's talented too.
Yeah.
Not my type.
Also a surfer.
Yeah, exactly. So number 5, Wastin' Gas by Dallas Smith. It's kind of about going off the dirt road and having a good time.
Oh, nice. Heading up to Lover's Lane, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. Mind Reader by Dustin Lynch. Kind of in the course of that, he's complimenting the girl for just how you just get me. For some reason, you understand every little thing that makes me just happy.
As if you could read my mind.
Exactly. Island by Florida Georgia Line. This is a real heavy one. This one is letting you know, when I'm with you, it's all I see. We're
Okay.
almost as if we're on an island. If we're going to stick with the theme that you continue to go with.
Sure, right.
Then Girl, which is MMM Girl.
like,
Kind of like Girl, like that. By Chase Rice. Honestly, that's the Ignite the Night album. I think there are 15 songs on that thing. If you have Spotify or Apple Music, just get the whole thing and play that whole album throughout the course of your night. The whole thing it's just a banger. The whole album.
I'm not sure if I'd call any country album a banger, but please continue.
And then my number 1 with a bullet is Take Back Home Girl by Chase Rice. It is the absolute
You got it queued
best.
up here?
I was trying to play a little bit of it.
Yeah, don't play it.
Okay, well, I was going to play...
YouTube will flag the video.
okay, well, that's good. I was going to play a little bit of the acoustic and then sing it myself, but we'll just
Nah,
leave it at that.
you'll be breaking all kinds of copyright laws.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well,
we're
sorry.
learning a bunch here.
Take Back
You can
Home...
sing a cappella though.
Nah. I needed the music. I'm not a good singer, I don't think.
I'm sorry to ruin your musical debut here.
Nah, it's good. It's probably just as well because I was getting a little nervous about it. When I've done karaoke,
He's wiping the sweat off the palms on his jeans right now as he's talking.
I was trying to clear my throat before. That's when you guys were talking about True Detective. I was like,
Oh, is that when you're getting ready?
Yeah, I was trying to get ready.
You killed the mic.
Well,
You're
now
like,
now it's been built up, so you're gonna have to at least do it when we go off the air.
But I'm not a good singer. That's the thing. I'm telling you,
That's
it's
the
it's
best
bad.
part. That's the best part.
That's why I want to hear it.
Then I almost would rather do it on air. But Chris Lane's Take Back Home Girl featuring Tori Kelly. I can listen to this song anytime. I had stopped for a little bit because I was listening to it so much. I tend to listen to songs to the point where I can't anymore.
Listen. I get it. Yeah.
And I definitely did that with this song. Yet I've come back to it still, and it's like
No
this
kidding.
is phenomenal. And also the acoustic version, 1,000%. Do not play the poppy whatever country music version it is of this. That's good. This is 1,000,000 times better.
The acoustic version of a already crappy song. I got
Take
it.
Back Home Girl by Chris Lane and Tori Kelly. What?
I just want to know, Wes, what's your getting jiggy music? What would you play? If
Oh,
you were,
me?
Yeah.
I'm into some real freaky type of stuff.
What are you playing?
I'm playing
Like Nicki Minaj?
some ludicrous What's Your Fantasy. And now, you know that song. It's getting down to the nitty gritty.
Sorry, I
Getting
had to
down
be-
and dirty. Ludicrous?
No, I put the song on in my ear
Oh.
because I was trying to build up confidence to sing.
Mr. Luda.
You're the backseat, my dad's your feet.
Look at this.
Those other side of the highway headlights making you shine. That's about it. That's what I
That's
got.
not too bad.
No,
So,
you
but
telling
that's,
you,
should
I
give
can't-
yourself more credit.
I
I
have
can't
a
do
little
that.
hard nip right there.
I can't do that without hearing the music. If I did that by myself, like without hearing like karaoke style,
Sure.
it would be 1,000,000 times worse. I thought, but when I started playing it in my ear, I thought it was on YouTube, so I cut you
Now
off.
is the time in the conversation, Nick, where you drop your SoundCloud link. So come hit me up on my SoundCloud, myspace.com.
Well, we're not quite ready to plug ourselves because you were still going through.
No, I got
Ludacris.
it. No, that was it. Yeah.
There's a Nikki. What's it?
He's suggesting that maybe you start yourself one of those Kickstarter campaigns to fund your album.
There we go. Now we're talking.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, Wes, where can the people find us?
Well, you can find us on Twitter at the Change My Mind Pod. That's Change My Mind Pod. Everywhere else, you can find us just by searching Change My Mind Podcast. That is on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Spreaker, Overcast,
Anchor.
Tuner FM, on the Geeks Worldwide
SoundCloud and iTunes channel.
iTunes channel. 1420 WBSM AM.
That is their YouTube channel is
That
the only
YouTube.
place you can watch it. And I think this episode is just as good representative as any.
I think so as well.
That it is a totally different experience if you're watching us versus listening to us.
Yeah, you
solely.
become one of our friends. Come,
Yeah.
come hang out in my world.
Exactly.
Our world.
Yes.
You can find my man Nick Fryer here with the pipes and some poor choice in music and movies, but he's got good pipes at Fry_guy1.
Yes.
You can find myself for great movie takes and all the blazing hip hop in the streets at Wesley Sykes _.
Absolutely.
And other than that, have a great Valentine's Day. I hope everyone gets lucky. I hope everyone does it safe.
I agree.
Wear some protection. Don't watch The Notebook. Maybe curl up to a nice book.
We'll talk to you guys next week.
All right.